Hello. I know it's been a hot ass minute, but a lot has been happening. And yes, that's a bunny ass. It's a bunny ass behind me. But I wanted to come on here and share something with you. So there's been a lot happening right now. Like my business is shifting and changing, but it's coming home to itself. If that makes sense. Like the clarity is so clear. Like I feel like I finally cracked my own code, right? And there's like um we grow up, or at least I did, and like a lack mentality mindset. And essentially that just, if you're getting honest with yourself, that doesn't always feel the best. And so like, what else is there? You get curious about it. I'm getting distracted by the bunny feet. Okay. You get curious about it, and then you start asking yourself, I'm like, is this it, or is there more? So I've moved. I moved away from my roommate. I didn't want to live with my roommate and her man. Like, I don't want to live with someone else's man. I don't want to be. I no. Um, and so I made the decision. My ego is still catching up. It feels like I'm more at peace because I know where I'm going. Right. I see the vision for myself, and I know that where I'm at right now doesn't matter. And I refuse to give it any meaning. So right now I'm living at my mom's house. I'm living at my mom's house. So yeah, that's childhood shit back there. And it's the past. And I can tell you, even had like a surreal moment where I started my business in this room. In October 2016, this is where I started my business. And the second I got up here, like I have my desk up here. I have some filing things in here. And I just, my printer's below you. And I had this moment where I got up here and I just started bawling because I was like, oh my God, I didn't give up on myself. Holy shit, this actually means something to me. So I had a whole thing about it. And just like this journey of like how many people have told me, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And the things I wrote to myself with like goals or like milestones in my business. I feel like I'm at the precipice of that actually happening. So I'm not, and it's different too because I'm not shitting my pants. And that's important because when you start to do the inner work, when you start to do shadow work, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, like you dismantle like your own perception of what life is, the judgment, the shame, just everything. You start to unlayer all these layers that are hiding the true essence of you and who you are, because we're souls having a human experience. And I'm not shitting myself because I've returned home to myself. Because it's just, oh, this is me, of course. You're just not scared. And I'm starting to allow myself again to use my imagination and create milestones for myself. Because I know I don't like the word goals. To me, I played sports so much, so maybe that's just it. Purpose of life is to hate your goals. Like, no, that's no. So I don't like that. I like milestones, right? So again, you find the language that resonates with you and you use it and you make that enough for you. Okay, because not everyone's gonna be on the same page. And for someone who's had years of coaching and mentoring, I had to decipher what was mine and what was theirs. That took at least 3 years of me to be like, oh, that's theirs. That's theirs. What is mine? What is mine? How do I want to be? How do I want to live? How do I want to feel? Oh, that was a feat in itself, yo. And I'm sitting here in this moment, again, the precipice, right? And actually allowing myself to lead from my soul, actually believe what I'm seeing. Because I've had visions, again, with my imagination, or even like out and about, where I've had visions and they've come true. And it's really interesting, especially for like my birthday and parking places. And, you know, I knew that people were going to give to me for my birthday, but I did not know the level. Oh my God. And it kept going beyond my birthday. And I was like, well, this is my life now. I'm going to get used to it because it's fun, right? Life is supposed to be fun. It's not. Goals. I wanted to share this and kind of put this as a timestamp for myself too. Gotta be honest with you, because what I'm seeing and what I'm creating right now, again with like my business, it's always been like one thing, like one focus. And right now I have the clarity that it's 3 engines with one purpose, which is funny because it's like I'm thinking back about when I first my business, what was the underlying goal? And it was to follow your own rhythm and allow that to be like enough for you. And I like went through, you know, I was a health coach, and then I was, you know, well, first of all, I was a chef, cooking for people, meal preps, creating recipes, all that jazz. Okay. And then health coach, and then body liberation coach, getting into the body stuff, and then, you know, branching out into, it's like body liberation, and then it was like kitchen stuff, and now I get to do all 3 because I've built my capacity to hold all of that. The Carrie that I was in like 2017, especially 2018 when I lost my dad, and 19 after that, would not be able to hold 3 engines in her business. It would not be a thing. And again, it was just like, and I love my coaches and I love them all that I've had, but it was always, hey, pick one thing and then go for it. I remember there was this call. She was right, which I understand. Oh, she's right now. Like the same advice wouldn't work for me now. But she was like, you know, you keep changing your messaging. I'm just like, but it's all important. It's all relevant to this one thing of, you know, of coming home to yourself and like embodying your own rhythm and embodying like who you are. Like, this is the thing. These are different avenues for people to get there. And it's interesting because it's like, that was my soul speaking. Like that was, anyways. But it, you know, the coach was just like, well, you got to pick one messaging and go for it. And I was like, what? That sounds boring as fuck, bro. Because it's like, I think about when you're choosing like a diet for yourself or like how you want to eat. I'm a chef who likes to have variety. I could eat just plain ass tofu with green beans every day, including I love breakfast, including breakfast. But I don't want, and I'm not gonna. So I was just looking and reflecting on like how my business was, and now I'm like, I have 3 engines, and they all have their different places and platforms, which is, again, my mind is like, how are you gonna handle that? I was like, I mean, why not? I'm like, I've done a lot, and yeah, I can handle it. I'm ready. It's happening. And so I was just allowing myself to lean into that. Again, it's not like battling with your mind, excuse me. It's more of like learning to work with her, at least mine, and be like, hey, remember this? We're creating this. If we're creating this, we have to be open to receiving from different places to, to experience this milestone. So again, it's just like broadening the mind of like what's possible, and especially like doable, but probable, right? Because that was the same coach that taught me that. It was like, what's doable? What's probable? I forgot the other P. Possible. And then I forgot the other P. There was 3 P's that she taught. Oh, predictable. So it's just like broadening, your mind of what's possible or probable or predictable for you. And it gets fun in that realm because then you expand yourself more than what, like, everyone else around you is. Like, I had this moment where my family and I, we visited my uncle in the nursing home today, and I've been shifting my mind a lot around money and like what a lot really is, or how changing like the values of it, like $100. I'm like, yeah, it's not in a snobby way, and it's not from a place of lack. Okay, so that's different, right? But it's like yes, and grateful, and I know there's more, right? So my sister was sharing how she like won $160 on one machine on a bonus, and knowing her, I know that she didn't cash out right away. So I also knew that because that's just not her style, which is fine, and nothing right or wrong, right? And then I heard my uncle respond. He's like, "Oh wow, good for you." And I was like, "Oh fuck, is that a lot?" Like, I was sitting there, I'm like, "Oh shit." Part of that is I'm realizing how small the people around me think about money. Because if $160 is a lot of money, oh my god, what are we doing? Because there's so much more out there. There's so much more out there. And I was like, this past weekend I booked a hotel for 3 people to stay in and a puppy. That was not part of my desire, y'all. But I leaned in the possibility, right? So I was like, oh, that'll be fine. I let it go. Sometimes you have to surrender, right? And you get a pissy fit or not, and I chose not. There's no point. And I booked a hotel for one night at a small town for $325. That's before the pet fee. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's fine. Because it was just for a night, and you got breakfast and, other stuff. And I was like, oh, that's fine. And we got 2 king beds to sleep in. I was fine with that. And then I shared that, I booked it, we were there, we were sleeping there, and like, oh yeah, how much is the hotel? And I was like, oh, $325. Oh yeah, and then the dog, so like a $35 dog fee. And then their eyes were like, and I was like, oh shit. But it was that moment, it was my responsibility to find something, because it was the same week as Father's Day. It was that Saturday night. And so availability wasn't the best. Right? So it's just like, knowing what I know about tourism, if you don't have a lot of rooms available, you spike up the price. Right? That's what tourism does. That's what hotels do. So it's like, I knew that, but I wanted the room. So I was at peace with it, but I realized, oh, my mind is expanding beyond my family's. How much they were able to pay me, no problem, and I knew that. Like, going in, I'm not just like, oh, this room is $1,000 a night. They can afford that. Like, No, that's not the place, y'all. I'm not naive in that moment. Okay, we're not doing that to people. If I'm gonna spend $1,000 a night, it's because I'm gonna pay for it, and we're gonna have a fabulous time doing it. That is different. Okay, but I knew like $100, they could shell out $100 be fine. Like I knew that was gonna be easy for them. But just like the total, I think, and I was just like, oh, is that a lot? But again, it gives me awareness of where I'm, like, where my growth is and what I'm outgrowing. You know, and it's like when you expand your mind for bigger and for more, you realize it starts to show up, like, where you've been and, like, who raised you. And you still have to, in those moments, say yes to yourself and your new belief for yourself and the new mindset and expansion you are opening yourself up to in that moment. And you have to say no to their mindset and their way of being. And that's what embodiment is. I feel like that concept isn't talked about enough. Right, because it's like, let's say, you know, like I've been in the coaching world for at least 10 years now. So it's like seeing people have like 50K months is normal for me. Like seeing that be a number, I'm like, oh yeah, of course you did that. Of course you did that. Like I've been seeing it so much now, I'm just like, yeah. But I understand for other people that haven't been in the coaching world, they're like, you made what? In 1 month? Oh my God, I can't imagine. You know, sometimes that's more than what people make in a year. And I understand that. And I understand that, right? I have the bigger view of that. I have the understanding of that. And I'm not like, I'm not scoffing anybody. But I'm very consciously aware of that's where I'm going. And that's what I'm expanding to, because I've written thousands of like things of, you know, I'm going to make this much, I'm going to make this much. And being back in this space, I realized how many times I wrote that at different levels, at different capacities. It's not just about money, it's about people in my, you know, in my programs and offers and stuff like that. And I'm just like, holy shit, it all started up here. And now I'm at the precipice of like, oh, fire, let's go, let's blaze it. Because you had to unlearn a lot of shit. You had to be okay with not fitting in with people around you, from who are still in their lack mindset of survival to abundance, to I can have this, I'm gonna buy this for myself, and not feel like you are disrespecting anybody. Because it's like when you're living your life, that's a choice you can have, right? Of like, oh, you know, I have to stay small in order to support my mom, who is now, gosh, she turning 75 this year? That's whack. That is whack. That's crazy. Yeah, my dad would have been gone 8 years in September. That's crazy, dude. Almost 10 years of not having my dad. Crazy. Distracted. Sorry. But, like, the perception of... I don't know. It's not perception. I just shift a lot of fear, I think. And one of the biggest things and ways to come home to yourself is if you come home to yourself, you get to know yourself. Light, please. You get to come home to yourself. That is the true essence of belonging. Right? You don't have to belong with anybody else outside of you in your physical world. And it's like, I've done a lot of, you know, questions about like, if I removed the label of my mom being my mom, like, if she was just a person, would I still spend time with her? And it's like, yeah, I would. And on the tail end of that, I'm not sure for how long, right? Not because she's getting older, just because I'm shifting myself as a person, and I'm not making that mean anything negative, right? Because people shift out of people's lives all the time. And like, same with like my sister, so much shit with that. But it's like, yeah, there's some shifting and moving with that too, and being okay with what's gonna unfold, so I can step into the version of me who I've always been, right? Who I was created to be in this lifetime, and being okay with my language and my tone. Even my voice has changed. It's gotten more grounded, more certain. And I've shifted myself and become home with myself, with, with people who I consider family, and they're kind of on the outskirts of my circle. And that was, I want to say it was easy. It wasn't. Some were easier than others. And looking back at other people that I brought close, that they didn't bring me close, you know what I mean? It wasn't reciprocated. I want to say those were easy, but they weren't either. And so the more closer the people are to you, it is going to be challenging to actually step into like your true essence of who you are. Because it's like, yeah, I am abundant. There's so much abundance around. I don't know how you can like not see it. But again, you had to shift your perception. Because now I can't unsee it. It's like a piece of garbage on the ground. You can't unsee that shit. And so I did that with wealth, and I've done that with abundance. And again, it's not just money, but it's just, there is a lot around. Like, and again, it's a choice to shift that for yourself. Or you can play small. And it's like, I still get this drive. And after 10 years, I still have this drive to impact millions of people, and to have these beautiful retreats, these powerful transformative moments that I've given myself that I want to give other people. And I want to do that because it's fun. But it's also, you give people that sense of freedom for themselves to be themselves. No matter how many, like, no matter your curves or the color of your skin or like what the scale says, like, it's really irrelevant if you make it irrelevant. That's what's fun, and it's what gets to be fun about freedom, right? You get to write the rules for you, to make space for you. And that's what's really fun about this. So I know my ego is like, this video is long. I was like, bitch, no one asked you. Love you. Didn't ask. But I wanted to catch you up with what's happening, because again, this is something I wanted to, this channel for sure is like between moments, right? And I feel like no one talks about between moments enough, where it's like, yeah, you have to stand in your conviction of who you are and who you're becoming, but who you're remembering yourself to be. And in between moments, and sharing that is really important. So I wanted to, and again, inspired action. I wanted to act right away and flow with what was happening, instead of like, oh, let's put that on the post-it note for a different time, and then I can get in the right mindset. I remember, oh God, I've done that in my business, dude. You can't pause creation when the juice is happening. You can't do it. And try to revive that moment when it no, it doesn't. Creation doesn't work like that, yo. It doesn't work like that. Wouldn't it be great if it did? Yes. Pure essence doesn't work like that, y'all. Sometimes you just gotta surrender it Tell your ego to eat a snack in the passenger seat. Just shut the fuck up. So weird, though. Sometimes you gotta put your goddamn foot down and make space for you, is what I'm saying. Because your light is so damn bright. If it's too bright, I still love that though. If your light is too bright, well, get some sunglasses, get some shades. I still love that. I think it's so great. And you have to be ready for people to project on your ass. Because you're becoming the version of themselves that they wish they could be. And they can. If they wanted to be. If they wanted to put their own bullshit in a cup. Or like a trash bin in a bag and throw that shit out. And, but they don't wanna. And you're not worth waiting for other people to do that. And I hold space for you. Because I will tell you again, the biggest freedom you can give yourself is to belong to yourself. Because you're never lonely. Again, you have a spirit team, obviously. But yourself is always with you. Your soul is always with you. Your ego is always with you. But you can change the relationship you have with your ego, right? And people are like, oh, I have a love-hate relationship. That sounds god-awful. No. 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 If they want to put that on their life, that's on them. You don't have to take that on, honey. You don't have to take that on. That's what's great. We have that power. And so I wanted to share that with you. And yeah, more content coming soon, but honestly, more happenings. As I, again, allow myself to lean into my true essence of this and actually blaze the way I know I can blaze. Because I never gave myself permission to do that. So I'm excited to see what blossoms and what happens. And I think that's the true excitement of life, is actually giving yourself the full fucking reins and gas and permission to go all in on you. And I actually am at that precipice, and I'm so elated. Like I can't even, that's not the right. You ever feel like English words are so limiting? I'm having that moment because it's so much more than that, because I know all the shit and all I've been through the last like 10 years of business has created me to remember who I am, because I've let go of so much shit. I've taken so much trash out. So necessary to create space for actually who you want to be and how you want to live your life concept. Anyways, I'm just going to leave it there. I'll keep you all posted and updated, because it really is the in-between moments that define who you are and how you desire to live your life by your choosing and nobody else's.